Hey there. Today I want to talk about how you can deal with these really large, complex orchestral templates in Dorico when especially you're using VE Pro, lots of different libraries together. You've got expression maps, playback templates, endpoints, and we've talked a lot about these things on my channel, but I wanted to give you guys an idea of how I keep them organized so it's a little bit more predictable and yet again, another layer of ease to maintaining this over the long term, and that is using naming conventions, which doesn't sound like such an exciting thing. But I can tell you honestly, this has saved me a huge amount of time, and it's engendered in me a great sense of confidence in my overall setup. Whether it's loading up different templates to see how they sound with my current orchestration, or whether it's updating and maintaining my endpoints and expression maps and all that thing. So I thought I would just kind of show you a little bit about how I work with this material, how I organize it, and this aspect of naming conventions, because it might offer you some insights if you're not already doing this. If you're already doing this, by all means, post in the comments. Let me know if you have any suggestions on improving this, because I think this is an important issue. So let me bounce into my screen here, and we're just going to take a look at a few basic things. First of all, you'll notice that I have Dorico open here with a endpoint project, right? So I've talked about this before in my channel, the idea of actually creating a whole Dorico project that's just for maintaining and building one endpoint. And I tend to name my endpoints like this. So combo orchestra strings means this is an endpoint for strings. Obviously, it's from the orchestra. And then the combo means that I'm putting together different libraries. Some of them are Contact, some of them are Sign Player. They're not all from one manufacturer, that sort of thing. And it helps me to know that what I'm dealing with in the VE Pro side is a combination of samplers and platforms, right? So over in Vienna Ensemble Pro, I have the same name, Combo Orc. So this is the name of my VE Pro server project. This will also be exactly the same name as my playback template in Dorico. So when I'm in Dorico and I go to playback templates, we'll see here that my playback template combo orc exactly matches the Vienna Ensemble Pro server project. And that's intentional so that I know when I load that project template, or a playback template rather, I need to also load that VE Pro server project. So the two go hand in hand. They have the same name, they go hand in hand. And I try to maintain that sort of connection, that predictability throughout. So the VE Pro server project and the playback template in Dorico have the same name. The next thing is VE Pro instances and endpoints, right? So my playback template, let me actually open that up again, come back to my desktop. So the playback template, if we look at what's in there right now, we were to go ahead and edit it, we'd see that currently for this demo, it contains combo orchestra strings. That's the only endpoint it contains. And that is exactly the name of this project, because this is the project that creates that endpoint. So once I create the endpoint, I'm going to come in here to, where's that window? There it is. And sorry, I think I need to close that out. I may need to close this out as well. There it is. Now the window comes up. So I can actually name my endpoint here. I'm going to name it, come down here, click Save Endpoint Configuration. I save it as that name. And that tells me that this project is the project that I use to maintain that particular endpoint. So the combo orc playback template is going to contain combo orc strings, combo orc brass, combo orc winds, that sort of thing. So there's a strict naming convention, and you can actually see over here how I have that organized in my file structure. So I actually have playback templates folder, and then I have this combo orc, and then I have the endpoints in there, and these are actually Dorico projects for managing each one of my endpoints. Now, the thing that I face a little bit with expression maps is that sometimes I want the expression map to be unique, to that instrument because there are unique capabilities, maybe unique articulations, in which case I might name this expression map here for the viola combo orc strings underscore viola. But in the application of this particular project, I find that I can actually have one expression map, and that goes back to how I design my channel switching system. Using channel switching makes it more appropriate to have one expression map for a whole family and even multiple families. I've talked before about how, for example, I assign a channel to pizzicato, even though pizzicato is not something that you can ever play on a brass instrument or a wind instrument. The channel 5, which I assign to pizzicato, I just don't use channel 5 in MIDI when I'm writing for winds and brass. So I don't actually need to have expression maps that are combo orc strings viola. I can just have combo orc strings, and it works for everything. And I can actually have combo orc, and it would generally work for everything as well. Here I'm breaking it down into strings, partly because I want this demonstration to make a little bit more sense. I want you to be able to visibly see the sort of hierarchy. So I've got these sort of bullet points over here. Essentially, VE Pro project server or server project has the same name as the playback template. Then I keep the names between VE Pro instances and the VE Pro or the Dorico endpoints consistent, as well as obviously the endpoint project that I use to maintain that. And then with expression maps, I generally am going to take the instance, the VE Pro instance, or the endpoint's name, which should be the same, and I'm going to incorporate that into the expression map's name. If I need to tack on a little underscore specific instrument, then I do that. But a lot of times with channel switching, I don't actually have to. That would be, more detailed than I have to be, and I don't really feel the need to maintain more expression maps than I have to. If I can have one expression map for all my strings versus 5, violin 1, violin 2, viola, cello, and basses, if I have 5 expression maps for each of my strings broken out just for the sake of naming conventions, but they all contain the same information, that's really going to make it a pain for me if I ever want to update one articulation. I have to update it in 5 places. So I hope that makes sense how I have it set up. I would encourage you to explore using naming conventions to just streamline how these things are set up and give you a bit more confidence and sort of peace of mind when you're loading a playback template. You can know what has to be loaded in your VE Pro instance. When you look at an endpoint that you know needs to be improved or updated or have something fixed in it, you can see from the instance, or rather, you can see from the endpoint that's listed in your playback template, you can spot it and say, okay, that's the endpoint I need to change. That must be the name of my endpoint project. You just find that project, open it up, make your changes, edits, or updates, resave the endpoint, and now everything's back together. It makes it a lot easier to make those sort of snap judgments, fix problems when you're in the middle of a workflow as you're composing. And just aligning these names in some sort of sensible way. I'm not saying necessarily that my particular naming convention is the best, as much as having a naming convention that is consistent and suits your workflow is really, really helpful. So I hope that helps. And if you have questions, please post in the comments. If you're new to my channel and you like the video, please do like and subscribe. Really helps me surface my videos to more people. And I will be back on Thursday with another video. I haven't decided on the topic yet, but it's coming soon. So I'll see you then. Thanks so much. Bye.